Hey guys, welcome back. So today I want to talk about Star Wars. I would say that Star Wars is the first really big intellectual property that I fell in love with as a kid. My dad introduced my brother and I to Star Wars. When we would go to his house on the weekends, occasionally we would sit down and have like a movie night. We would turn all the lights off in the house, and the glow of the CRT would be shining over the living room, and we watched all the Star Wars movies, Top Gun, Howard the Duck, Raiders of the Lost Ark, a lot of good stuff. My dad had, well, pretty good taste, maybe except for Howard the Duck. But I was introduced to Star Wars, and I really credit my dad for, I guess, fueling my interest in enjoying science fiction, because that really was the beginning of it. And when it comes to Star Wars and Star Trek, I do like Star Wars more. I think that's because I was introduced to it first. I do like Star Trek quite a bit. I watched The Next Generation on TV as a kid, very casually. The episodes that got me interested were the ones where Jean-Luc Picard becomes a Borg. The Borg, I don't know. When I first saw them, I just thought they looked so cool. And I just decided, I knew of Star Trek. Like, I remember seeing the commercials for it, but when I saw the Borg, I was like, wow, that's awesome. If you were to say, hey, do you want to watch anything from the Star Trek universe or anything from the Star Wars universe? I'm going to pick Star Wars. And speaking about all of the different shows and stuff that are in the Star Wars universe, my favorites would be the original trilogy, the Clone Wars cartoon, and the Mandalorian TV show. Those are the ones that I've by far enjoyed the most. And I really like Star Wars as a TV show. You get more story, and granted you get more content, one movie that's 2.5 hours long versus, like 20 episodes that are half an hour long of the Clone Wars. You're going to get more content, but you just get more stories. You get more adventures. You get introduced to more places and people, and there's more opportunities to expand the lore and the universe. And I really like that format of Star Wars. I don't need to go to the movie theater and watch a 2 to 3 hour movie. I can tune in and watch a half an hour of however long Mandalorian is, 40 some minute show. I can watch that every week for 8 weeks or however long it runs, and then be done for however long, and it comes back again. And granted, yes, you are getting more content that way, but I don't know. I really like what they've done with Star Wars on television. When it comes to the movies, the prequel trilogy and the sequel trilogy, I don't really have strong feelings towards either one. I don't really get that excited about Star Wars anymore. And I really think that's because Disney, they were throwing Star Wars at us right and left. Like, they brought out the sequel trilogy, and then they brought out the spin-offs like Han Solo and Rogue One. Rogue One I thought was very good. But it was just too much. I don't need a Star Wars movie every year or every 1 to 2 years. Like, it's not special when you do that. And I was pretty excited when the sequel trilogies were first announced and when they first came out. And then as time went on, they were just throwing too much. And I just was like, this really isn't that great. I mean, really, the movies weren't all that great either, but out of all the new stuff, The Mandalorian, I think, is the best. Also, Rogue One. That's the best Star Wars content they've produced since they did Clone Wars way back in the mid-2000s. Anyways, when it comes to the original trilogy, my favorite movie is Star Wars: A New Hope. It's the first one I watched. It has the origin stories. We're introduced to all these new characters. I really like the scene with Luke and Obi-Wan in his house after Obi-Wan saves him from the Sand People. You get all this lore. Like, We learn stuff about Luke's father. We learn, we hear about the Clone Wars. Luke gets his lightsaber. Granted, this is all very little amount of backstory, but they give us so much in that one scene, and they just build off of that. And I really, really like that scene. Also, Obi-Wan is my favorite character in Star Wars. When I was a young kid, it was Darth Vader. I thought he looked awesome. But as I got older, I started to gravitate towards characters that had more of a mentorship role. So Obi-Wan was that role. And even in the prequel trilogy, Qui-Gon. I liked Qui-Gon because he was a mentor towards Obi-Wan. But yeah, Obi-Wan became my favorite when I was a teenager, and he has been ever since. I really like that character. If I could say one good thing about the prequel trilogy, it's that I got to see more Obi-Wan. And aside from the Clone Wars being an awesome cartoon, it was nice to also see more Obi-Wan in that too. Like, I don't know, I guess I got really lucky. Like, he was my favorite Star Wars character when I was in high school, and the prequel trilogy gets announced, and I was actually kind of excited. I was like, oh, awesome. I get to see more Obi-Wan. I want to see more of Obi-Wan's adventures. And the prequel trilogy and the Clone Wars, they did, they provided that for me. But the original trilogy, hands down, it's the best. It will always be the best. I love it. I absolutely love it. We watched those movies so much at my dad's house. I don't recall if we had copies of Star Wars movies at my mom's, but we had those 3 movies recorded at my dad's, and he recorded them off of Showtime. And when you watched a movie on Showtime back then, maybe they still do this, I don't even know if Showtime's still around, they had a watermark that would appear down in the lower corner of the television screen. I don't remember if it was right or left. But the watermark would appear, and then it would fade back out again. And I watched those movies so much that I knew when the watermarks were going to appear and disappear. A lot of fond memories about Star Wars. When it comes to Star Wars toys, I don't have any to show because I never really had any as a kid. I only had 2 figures. I had a Darth Vader figure and I had an R2-D2 figure. And my Darth Vader figure ended up getting broken. I had set it in the driveway of the neighbor's house, and his dad came home and he walked over and said, "Hey, whose figure is this?" And his head was broke off. So at the time when I had those Star Wars figures, I also had Masters of the Universe figures, and I was way more interested in Masters of the Universe than I guess I was Star Wars. When I was thinking about doing this episode, I was curious. I made the assumption that Star Wars is probably the property that I own the most video games for, and I was right. I own 23 different Star Wars titles. And the first Star Wars titles that I played were the Super Star Wars games on the Super Nintendo. I was curious, like, what is the property that I have that has the next, like, most titles in it? I figured it was Mario, and it was. I counted Luigi's Mansion 1 and 3. I don't know if you can count those or not. So if you count those, it's 18. If you don't count those, it's 16. So there's the comparison for whatever that means. Star Wars has been around for a long time, and there's been a number of games that have come out for a number of consoles over the generations. I just assumed that was probably the property that I had the most games for, and it was. And speaking of the Super Star Wars titles, the game that we are going to play today is Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi. This was a game that we had. This was my brother's game. I think he got it for his birthday. So we must have rented Super Star Wars and then Empire Strikes Back. But this one we owned. I beat this game as a kid, which I remember having to burn through my continues. I couldn't do like a 1 credit clear or anything like that. These games are challenging. I think there's probably people that really like them and people that probably really don't like them because of the difficulty and the blind jumps and whatnot. I don't want to get into the game too much because we really should talk about the game as I'm playing it. So let's check out Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi for the Super Nintendo. Alright guys, I got Return to the Jedi playing. I'm gonna skip the text crawl. But I think I'm gonna keep the cutscenes in, because the cutscenes in this game look pretty good. In general, this game has got pretty good visuals and sound. I feel that they did a pretty good job of turning Star Wars Return of the Jedi into 16-bit video game goodness. And so just like in Empire Strikes Back, when we started off with the Snowspeeder level in the Battle of Hoth, this game we're starting off with another driving type level that features Mode 7 graphics as we race towards Jabba's palace. Now, this section isn't overly difficult. What can be a problem though is if you start hitting these rock pillars, you'll like pinball off of them and you'll just start ricocheting around, and you can just, you know, ricochet right off the island and you're dead. You start all over. Oops. There we go. I think for this level I'll pick Leia. What I'd like to do is just pick a different character for each of the few first levels. Luke and Leia are probably the best ones to use on this level just because they have this attack. When they jump, they both spin and they spin their weapon, and you've got these Jawas that are hanging out here. And it makes it pretty easy to dispatch. Whoa, it makes it pretty easy to dispatch of the Jawas that are on that platform. You can play this with this level with Chewie. In fact, I usually do, because the boss at the end part of this level, it just takes forever if you have to use someone like Luke or Leia that is like a melee character. And Chewie has his bowcaster, and it just makes fighting the boss much easier. So I'll give it a shot with Leia, and then if I end up dying with her, I'm going to switch over to Chewie. That is what I'm looking for. I want my health sword. You can press the L and R buttons to move the screen up and down, which is very helpful. Otherwise, as you can see, you end up with blind jumps, which is, I think, one of the major criticisms of this game. Oh. Although sometimes I don't even move the screen like I know I can, but I don't know. I guess I'm just too lazy, and I'm just like, oh, I hate these things. I don't know how to get out of here. Alright, that bottom thing is like a speed boost. I don't particularly care for it because you get, I mean, this is like almost uncontrollable. So I'm just gonna wait until it ends. These ant guys, they give you a ton of health. Like, it's all small hearts. Like, they shoot up, I don't know, 5 or 6 small hearts. Maybe I should do, because I'm getting low on health. I don't know. They take a lot of damage, though. Oh, that's what I want. This should... Yeah, this is the final boss. So R2-D2 acts as a checkpoint in this game. Let's see here. And then we can get hearts out of this thing, like so. So we'll just top off our health bar. I probably shouldn't even waste my time with this last part. Alright. And we've got to the boss. It's that door thing. Door guy. I don't know. Doorbell? It's the Star Wars version of like a ring doorbell? Is that what this guy is? I don't know. But it takes forever because we have to, you know, swing our melee weapon, and the bosses in this game have very sizable health bars, and the difficulty of the bosses... I feel like the bosses in the beginning of the game are very difficult, and then as we progress through, they actually get easier. Which seems kind of weird. Man, I am not doing good. I think I'm probably going to be dying here. Alright, I'm just going to kill myself because I'm not beating this. And we're going to pick Chewie. As you can see, a lot easier. We can stay away from its attacks and just slowly pick it off. Whoops. I say that and then it comes over and hits me. Got a little bit of slowdown going on. It'd make this fight a lot easier if those rocks would drop little hearts. Some of the bosses become very easy because they have like little enemies around them and they drop small hearts. And you just keep, you know, killing the smaller enemies and you just keep feeding yourself small hearts and it's almost like impossible to die. Dance Hall, I'm gonna keep Chewie for this one. And then the characters have like special moves. Well, I don't think Leia does, but Chewie has that spin attack, which is really helpful, and I believe you're invincible when you do the spin attack. Well, you might be invincible, but you can still be picked up, I guess. Wow. Oh, sweet, I got a health sword. Okay, cool. I'm trying to find like a... Oh, there's a blaster upgrade, so... Okay, those pits will open. It never fails that when I try to get an item that's sitting over that pit, it opens and I fall right into it. So I'm very leery about using or about getting items that are over the pits. And I can't remember... You find... There's items hidden in the levels, and I can't remember if you just have to, like, jump on them or if you shoot them to find them. Whoops. Well, at least I got one blaster upgrade. It's better than nothing, I suppose. And if you can destroy the chair that guy throws, you can destroy it, and you can usually get some sort of a power-up. And they like to hide things behind those lamps that come down to crush you. Typically hearts. There's the band, and we gotta be getting close to Jabba. Here's our checkpoints. Alright, here we go. Whew. This is probably my favorite upgrade for any of the blasters, because you get homing missiles. Although I think there's an upgrade here. Yeah, there's an upgrade by Jabba. What the hell? We'll get it. I shouldn't have any problem beating this guy. I should just be able to absorb all the damage that he shoots and just keep shooting him. What I could do, though, is when he fires at me, I can do the spin attack, you know, and then I'll be invincible. And spin attack might actually do more damage to him. Whoop. Jabba just can't stop laughing. Jabba's palace. I'm gonna go with Luke. This would be another good level to play Leia on if you could. Just because having the jump, the jumping spin attack is pretty helpful. You collect 100 of those rebel symbols and you'll get a free guy. I got a force power. That must have been hidden. I don't even remember seeing it up there. Oh, okay, yeah, so Luke's got force power. So you press the select button to go through them, and I think I'll just stay on heal. Alright, these roller things kind of shoot you around. Health sword, that's cool. Like Leia, Luke can also block. Alright, here's our first R2 checkpoint. And then this part right here, I remember there's health swords along the right side. Got one, there should be another one. Alright. You can only hold the thermal detonators on for a set amount of time. As you can see up at the middle of the screen, right in the top there, it would say, it said, did it say thermal? I think it just said thermal, and then it flashes, and eventually you'll lose the ability to use it. You gotta get it, you just kinda gotta use it. Wow, there's R2 checkpoints all over the place. Oh, I got a free guy in my speed upgrade that I love so dearly. Those speed upgrades aren't as bad in levels where there's not bottomless pits. But in a level where you have to, you know, platform and the jumping is precise, that thing is a terrible item to have. Oh, it's actually... We'll do our saber throw. Oh, crap. Oh. And these levels are quite large. Like, it's easy to get lost. I'm technically lost right now. I don't know where to go. Okay, this is where I was at, right? Like, I start one of these levels and I kind of just proceed to the right, and I don't know. Eventually it seems like you always find your way, but sometimes it just gets a little, whoops. Everything kind of looks the same, and it's easy to lose track of where you're at. Wow, there's a lot of health. Whoa. I'm assuming that that's a bottomless pit. There's like these little gun turret things in the wall. It's good to shoot that stuff because this game has knockback, kind of like in a Castlevania game. Well, I guess traditional, you know, old school Castlevania game. And as you saw, it can just really ruin your day. Well, it didn't really ruin my day, but that Jawa threw that rock at me and it just kind of pushed me back, and I fell all the way down to the bottom of that level. So I like to destroy these things. I know that there's hidden areas in here where you can just walk right through the wall. I just don't remember where they're at. The free guy? Here we go. Dang it. I was gonna heal myself. Come on. I don't want that thing to shoot me and I fall off. I already have enough problem with this jump as it is. Crap. Oh. Well, how convenient they put that there now. Huh. Oh crap, here I go again. Huh, weird. I figured there'd be a little elevator thing coming down this way. There it is. Oh, there it is. Lots of health, which probably means we are getting close to the boss. We sure are. Alright, so like I was talking about earlier, bosses that have like little enemies with them that just feed you hearts, this is it. This boss is so easy. I can just sit here, refill my health, and voila, we're done. And we're going to play as Han. Oh, I got a blaster power up. I didn't even see it. It must have been in that bone thing that I shoot away. Whoop. Here's another one. Alright. I don't necessarily know if this is like the best blaster power up, but it just allows me to be lazy. You know? I don't have to worry about lining up my shots, and now I can just jump around and shoot like a crazy person. Oh, is that a health sword? Oh. That looks like a health sword. There's one. Nice. Han's special is that... Oh, nice, another one. He has grenades. So, like, Luke can use the Force, and Han has grenades. Chewie... Dang it! Oh, well. It's fine, I just can't be lazy now. I actually think that this might, like, ricochet off walls? Maybe? Or not? Well, what the heck, I might as well just keep going. The thing about these Star Wars games is that it feels like everything's out to get you. Like, it's either an environmental hazard, like those little things shooting up like lava pellets or I don't know, whatever they are, that thing right there. You got stuff like that trying to kill you, you got the enemies in the level trying to kill you, and it's easy to just kind of feel overwhelmed, like, oh my god, everything in this game is just trying to murder me. I didn't destroy that? Here I was actually going to try to take advantage of that speed boost. And I got nowhere. Oh, baby Rancor. Like a set of Rancor zombie jaws that are reanimated and to become alive. In fact, where I will probably die at in this game, there's a part where we gotta do a jump. And there's one of those, there's a set of those jaws down at the bottom of the, whoa, stuck. At the bottom of the jump. It's kind of like this, where we're, I don't know, yeah, it's actually, I think it might be right here. I just cannot get this jump right. Well, I say that, now I make it on the first try. Oh, oh, oh! If the knockback wasn't in this game, it'd be a heck of a lot easier, because you saw right there I was just kind of getting pushed around. And I wasn't able to, I was having issues with my jump. Completing my jump. So, main thing is just keep moving to the right, just keep moving up or down, and when you can't go any farther, just keep moving to the right. We're definitely at the boss, which should be a big, gigantic Rancor. There he is. Oops. Throw some grenades. We'll throw some grenades the wrong way. Alright guys, that is Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi for the Super Nintendo. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and we will see you guys next time.